everything was perfect. Everything was wonderful. There was no pain, there was no sickness, there was no hunger, there was no anything. It was all perfect. And yet, the serpent knew that that wouldn't be enough for Eve. So they told women, oh, don't you want to have all this stuff that men have? They're keeping it from you. They don't want you to have it. And so women were like, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to get a job. Well, the chickens are coming to roost. Hi, welcome back. I usually say welcome back to Feminism on Trial, but I've been thinking about it for a while and YouTube doesn't like that name. When I came up with the name, it seemed like a good idea because it was what I was going to talk about and how I was going to press, feminism and all that it's done and expose how guilty it was for the situation many of us find ourselves in, both on the micro and the macro levels. But alas, I'm going to change the name, or I already have by the time you're seeing this video, to Far From Eden. And the reason is because it doesn't sound like anything. There's no naughty word that YouTube doesn't like in it. But here's why I chose that name, where that comes from. Whether you're a Christian or not a Christian, or Jew or not a Jew, the story still stands up. The story of the Garden of Eden. And that Eve was the one who went and ate of the forbidden fruit, listened to the serpent, and was deceived by him because he promised, oh, don't you want to be like God? Don't you want to know, all of the things that he knows, and you won't die if you eat this. He lied to you. He just doesn't want you to have this, right? And so Eve was like, well, that's not right. And so she took the fruit. And then she went, and some people think that Adam knew. I am of the opinion that she didn't tell him where the fruit came from. And he didn't ask. And that was his big mistake, is he trusted woman. And he did what she said. And he wasn't watching where she was going or what she was doing. So God gave Adam a talking to and was like, you are head of the woman. And then Eve had the curse of the pain in childbirth and the monthly pain, etc. And then humans had to eat by the sweat of their brow. But back to how Eve was the one who was deceived. The serpent knew which one of them to target. He knew Eve was going to be the one that would be easily persuaded, and he knew exactly how to persuade her. And if you look at the story of Adam and Eve in the garden, everything was perfect. Everything was wonderful. There was no pain, there was no sickness, there was no hunger, there was no anything. It was all perfect. And yet, the serpent knew that wouldn't be enough. As he presented more to her, that something had been withheld, that she should be entitled to, boom, she turned her back on all that perfection. And the one who had provided that for her just turned her back. Now, I want you guys to think about women and feminism and how we were told, oh, men are so lucky. They get to go out and have jobs. They're having all the fun. How come we can't do that? How come we don't get to be doctors and lawyers and teachers, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera? How come we don't get to do that? They get to do it. It's such a privilege. What a bunch of baloney. Okay, There's probably there's a few women out there who are like, no, I love my job. I would want to press them on it and be like, how many bottles of wine do you drink at night, sweetie? I'd want to know that. And let's check your cortisol levels. Because according to the CDC, women who work, it shows in their health, it shows in their blood work. They're not healthy. It's not good for us. We're not made for it. So, continuing on. So they told women, oh, don't you want to have all this stuff that men have? They're keeping it from you. They don't want you to have it. And so women were like, I'm going to go to college and I'm going to get a job. Well, the chickens are coming to roost. There's a whole age group of women who are so depressed and so lost. They're drinking wine, they're taking antidepressants. They're just like, this isn't what, this is it's not supposed to be like this. I'm supposed to be able to have it all. Like, I thought jobs were awesome. And they still act like that in college when they're like, oh, I'm going to be, an aerospace engineer, et cetera, et cetera. It's like, you're not going to like it. You're just not. And you can see some of the TikToks lately. My Lord. This one I saw, she's like, oh no, do I have to work for like ever? Yes, sweetie. That's what you chose. And some of them will even say, I don't know who forced women to get jobs. And it's like, they don't even know the history of how feminism actually tricked women to come out of the home and stop serving their families. So, look, we are very, very far from Eden. Eden was perfect. It had everything. Nobody wanted for anything. Nobody ever suffered. And because the woman wanted more, we have a world with pain and suffering and, work is necessary, etc. And we can see that when women want more, it ends up badly for everyone, including them. They're in these great marriages. They have wonderful, fathers and husbands, and they're just not happy because they want more. There's like more out there or whatever, and they destroy it all, burn it all down. Everyone suffers. And they say, oh, it's for the better. Like, it's no different. What Eve did in the garden is the same thing as what feminism did. Well, what the serpent did to Eve is like feminism to all the women who were like, we're going to get jobs and we're going to be boss babes, etc. And to quote Kevin Samuels, no, you need to buy a dog, you're going to die alone. So we are very far from Eden. We are very far from perfect. And I believe there's so much in that story that can inform us of how we got here. Because over and over and over again, men say to me, how did we get here? How are they like this? And if I'm talking about the Garden of Eden, and I believe those were the first two people, so Eve was the first woman, and she partook of the forbidden fruit and fell for Satan's lies, I think you can safely say that one thing that the serpent was aware of is female nature. So it's pretty predictable, and we're pretty easily manipulated. And that's how we got here. So we are far from Eden. So hope I don't lose subscribers over this, but it was a good time to do it. So thanks for watching, and please hit like and subscribe and share this video so that maybe I can get enough subs to get a couple dollars here and there to get a microphone so I can do a video and have my air conditioner on at the same time. Anyway, thank you guys so much. Take care, and thanks for watching.